friends, Rebecca here, the Dragon Librarian from Farmington Community Library, and Zephyr and I are here today to talk to you about a book that we think is absolutely incredible. It's a book that I think is pretty life-changing, and even if it doesn't change your life, I think it will definitely give you something to think about long after you're finished with it. I know I'm going to be thinking about it for quite some time, and I think it's a book that can be enjoyed by whether you're a young person like middle school or high school, or whether you're an adult. I think that this book has a lot of appeal for a whole variety of ages. So what is this book? What is this book that I'm super hyped to talk with you about? It's called Not Nothing by Gayle Forman. Not Nothing. Now, full disclosure, this book, before I read it, was not really high up on my radar. It was not something I was making a priority to read. I ordered it for the Tween collection. It is a middle grade book. It features a protagonist who's 12 years old. And the reason I ordered it mainly was because of this author, Gayle Forman, because she wrote a really fantastic young adult series quite a few years back, and I really enjoyed that. And she came out with a middle grade book a year or two before, which was her first middle grade book, and I enjoyed that too. So when I saw she had a new book out, I was like, okay, I'm going to order it. It looks, it's by an author I really enjoy. I think it's going to be great for the collection. And I didn't give it too much thought until one of the children's librarians that I work with, a friend of mine, said that she had just finished this book and she really loved it and she thought I should read it. I'm easily susceptible when it comes to book recommendations. If somebody that I really like is my friend that I trust with their recommendation says, hey, you should read this, I'm going to do it. I am so glad I did, because this book totally blew my mind. Like I said earlier, I think this is a book that is really accessible for a lot of people. It has a really great message that I think will resonate, especially in today's society. And I think it's just an important story. So what is this book about? Now that I'm just going on and on and on and on and on and talking about it. So, like I said, the protagonist is 12. His name is Alex. And you start the book off knowing that he has done something very bad. Very, very bad. And now he is reaping the consequences of that. Now, you don't know what the thing is that he's done until very close to near the end of the story. And that's done on purpose. And I'm really, really glad that that's what the author did. Because let me explain what the rest of this book is about. So Alex did something really, really bad. And now because of that, he has to spend his summer basically volunteering at this elderly care place, right? For senior citizens. And he just is obviously not happy about that, because for a lot of different reasons. He hasn't seen his mom in, I think it's been about a year. He's living with his aunt and uncle, who are very clear about them not wanting him there. Like I said, he's got the feelings of what he did weighing on him as well. And when he starts to volunteer here, he's really not happy about it. He's being bossed around by this other kid whose grandmother is there. Her name is Maya Jade. And he's doing all these menial tasks like cleaning and doing all this, and he hates it. And everything seems pretty bleak. Until he meets the other protagonist of the story, Josie. Josie is a older gentleman who is, I believe, 103 or 104. He's up there in age. And he has not talked in a very, very long time. And he has all these memories and all these stories of what happened to him growing up during the World War II and the Holocaust and things like that, and the things that happened to him and the people he knew and the stories around that. And Alex and Josie cross paths one day, because when Alex is starting to get better at what he's doing there and he's starting to help out more, he crosses paths with him and they connect. And Josie speaks for the first time in a very long time and starts to share his story with Alex. And it begins to change him. And it begins to make him understand a lot of things that he didn't before. And as this bond starts to form, Alex has to start to understand and realize that, what he did was so wrong, but also, does he deserve forgiveness? And is he worth more than this incident that happened? Or is he a sum of all of his parts, good and bad, and the future good things he can do? Whew, that's a heavy theme, right? That's a heavy theme for a book for middle schoolers and high schoolers. Only it isn't. Because if you think about it, this is something that a lot of us are dealing with or thinking about in our day-to-day lives. Now, obviously, most of us haven't done the act that Alex has done, which is good because, like I said, I don't want to give away what it is because it's a very important part of the story. But what I will say is one of the main themes of this book is forgiveness. And it is about understanding when something is wrong and coming to terms with that and moving on from it and forgiving yourself too. And it's about not judging people. Because when you think about it, even just if it's on a smaller scale, right? Like if you hear about, oh, this kid was really mean to their teacher. They came in and were really mean. You might immediately form a judgment about that person based on the one thing that you know that they've done. Oh, that person must be a jerk then. They came in and they were yelling at their mom, or they came in and they were yelling at the teacher. This kid is a jerk, and write them off. But there's more to every story than just one side. And the thing that's really interesting about this book is not forgiving bad behavior. This book is not like saying, oh, just write off whatever people do, forgive them and move on. It's all about consequences and paying for those consequences, but then forgiveness and moving on and being able to start fresh, which is a hard thing to do. So this book makes you read about Alex and his circumstances and everything going on in his life that led to the very bad act, which may make you feel a little differently about him versus if you read about it first thing in the beginning of the book. This book is really genius like that, right? So it deals with so many important topics: forgiveness, moving on, redemption, working on yourself to be the best person you know you can be, not focusing on, well, I failed this English test. I guess I'm just going to be bad at English and I'm never going to pass these tests again. No, you had a bad test. Do better and be better. Now, obviously, that's a much smaller scale than the events in this book, but it's the same sort of idea. Learning from your mistakes, becoming a better person because of it, forgiving yourself, and moving on. This book has so many layers. For such a short book, it had so many layers and so many amazing aspects to it. And it was also really fun. Like I liked Alex and I liked his journey despite the really horrible thing he did. And it's bad. It's not like you're being built up to something and then it's like he littered on the ground and you're like, really, this is a whole big build up for something little. No, it is. They do not gloss over that what he did was horrible. But there's a lot more to every story than just that, right? So I think this book, like I said, can be enjoyed and has a lot of great talking points for people of all ages. It's a middle grade book. The main character is 12, but I would recommend it to high schoolers, to middle schoolers, to adults. I think everybody could learn something from the story. And of course, it's really well written. The characters were great. I just absolutely loved everything about this book. Not Nothing by Gayle Forman. Well, that's what we've got for you guys today. I hope that this book sounds really interesting and it might be something you want to give it a try. If so, please feel free to come pick it up from Farmington Community Library. And also, thank you so very much for watching, friends. And I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful rest of your day.